Um, um, I'd like to see Cynthia. Are you there?
I'm at work, but I can come on for like a few minutes.
Oh, Candace?
Yes,
Who is that?
Candace.
Okay. No, I was asking Cynthia.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I was asking her to read. I didn't want. If you're at work, I wouldn't want to do that. Let me see. Alethea, Alethea, Melody.
Yes.
Can I ask you to read the minutes from last meeting?
Can you send
I'm
them
gonna
to
put
me?
it on. Yeah, I'm gonna share the screen. My shared screen. Oh, can you give me? Oh, here it is. Never mind. I thought I didn't have it for a second. Okay.
Do I start at the top or should I just read
Yeah.
that one? Okay, so February 8th, 2024, attendees, board members were Sol Surrey, Committee Chair Althea Bess Latwain, Malvia, Linda Watson Lord, Natoya McGee. Attendance committee resident members Cynthia Rose, John Beckles Jr., Pamela Payne. Absent board members Candace Edwards, Twyla Ware. Absent committee members Anna Learn, Lean McLean. Guests were Shaquana Boyan, District Leader AD 57, Felice Edwards, Melody Oliveira, Cat B, CB9 staff, Khalid J. Jamant, Community Associate. Agenda item number 1, reading of the previous youth meeting from January. The meeting commenced and started recording via Zoom at 7:05. Number 2, members joined WhatsApp's group was successful. Number 3, solidifying board 9 upcoming events. 4, finalized our calendar and proposed events activities. Cleanup day for April 27th on Earth Day. 6, reviving Jackie Robin's Garden. 7, Black History Month bingo. 8, requesting grants from citizens for NYC awards. 9, new suggestions, guest speaker Shaquana Boyan, District 57. 10, Cat B Bodega Lounge owner, located on Finmore and Nostrand. She held a free event on February 25th at the Brooklyn Commons grounds located on Flatbush in downtown Brooklyn, 2 to 4 p.m. Free supplies available. What number is that? 10. Action items. There was a clothing drive. Donation drop-off location was the Brooklyn Community Board 9 office, 89 Nostrand Avenue. They were collecting women's and children's clothing, shoes, and coats. There was a youth forum planning for May to be held at the Jackie Robinson School. A micro grant for $3,000 and committee members was agreed upon for Family Fitness Fun Day to be held on May 4th, 2024, collaborating with Melody's organization to bring skates to this event for the community, as well as a DJ to this event using a school space. 11 was adjournment. The meeting adjourned at 8:05 p.m.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Melody, for reading that.
No problem.
Is there anything else? Linda, am I supposed to do anything? And can we all get on camera, go, please, if you can. If not,
Good
I will.
night, people. Good night. Yeah, I'm gonna come on camera in a minute. I'm trying to fix it.
Okay, no problem. All right, and if there's
Can you
some,
see me now?
uh, yeah, I see you now. Are we supposed to second the
Okay,
minutes?
good.
Because me and my Robert's rule of order.
Yeah, I can second the minute. I can second the minute. You're the chair.
Okay, thank you. All right, so thanks everybody. We're still waiting for Assemblywoman. She should be joining. I know they confirmed that she would be joining tonight. So, but we'll plug on until she ends up coming on. So here we go. All right. So for us, I just needed one. Trying to get myself together. Okay. So we did our last minutes. We have our guest speaker. Hopefully Farah is able to, Assemblywoman Farah Sofred Forrest will be able to join us. But we wanted to give some updates and things about what we have going on. So we still having a clothing drive. I know I just got a bunch of t-shirts and stuff donated, so I'm gonna drop that over to the office this week. Has anyone been able to give, or has we been encouraging other people to give for the clothing drive? I know it's supposed to go to John's work. Has anybody been able to support with that, or ask people to support?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got mine. I just need to collect them and drop them off. And I'm thinking I was away last weekend, so I couldn't do it last weekend. So I'm thinking if I get a chance on Friday evening after work to thing, then I might have to bring them to the
Okay.
community board sometime.
All right.
Or I can make arrangements with John and he could get them.
So John, I have like two bags of shirts and stuff I know that I have to donate.
I'm not sure if you aware though. I picked up a big donation from there already. I'm talking about
good.
like seven garbage bags full of brand new coats.
Nice. I'm happy. I was gonna ask
Sweat-
you, has people been
sweaters.
donating?
Yeah. I picked up a lot of stuff already.
I'm happy.
Khalid. I mean, Dante had contacted me, and I went maybe 2 weeks ago. I went and got a majority of that stuff is already gone.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I'm so happy.
Cool.
I was really hoping.
That's encouragement.
It is.
Yes.
I was like, oh, are people donating? I'm so glad to
Yes.
hear that. So
Good.
I'm glad to hear that you got that. Well, did you want to have a deadline, or do you just want it to kind of be an ongoing thing?
I mean, it could be ongoing because, like I said, it's useful. My program, they don't really. I mean, my job, they rarely have a lot of women clothing, so we're trying to fix that now for the next order of clothing that the city gives us the budget for. But like I said, majority of that clothing is gone already. It was a lot of nice coats. I'm talking about brand new North Faces, coats with tags on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
That's great. Yeah, I'm gonna also ask a couple of people. Even though they don't live in New York, they come to New York often. They have a lot of nice stuff. I'm gonna ask my brother and some of his friends too, because they always have some nice things that they're like, oh, we got tons of stuff, and they'll be willing to give out some items too, and I'll drop it off. Latween, your hands is up.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, what are the hours for people to possibly drop them off? I've mentioned it to people, but just in case, it's after work or.
That's a good question. Look, Linda, what is the office, or Khalid, what's the office hours?
Yeah, so Monday through Thursday, we're 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then on
Okay.
Fridays, we're 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Perfect.
So there's no weekend hours, right, Khalid? So
No weekend hours.
thanks. Okay, good.
Thank you.
So John, I might have to speak to you.
Oh yeah, John, will you
No
take
problem.
the donations if we schedule it like on a weekend or something?
I mean, if you schedule it for me, I just have to
Okay.
set it up where I could get it, and then I'll give it my job. They provide me with a lift to pick it up from if I have to go from my house to take it home to work, they'll provide me. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking those are like working hours for some people, so it might be hard for them to. But okay, sounds good.
No problem.
Excellent.
Thanks,
So I'm
Latween.
glad- Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that people are donating. I was a little worried, like I wonder if people are donating. So that's great. So we talked about doing the community cleanup for April 27th, and one of the things somebody said, and I don't remember who it was during the meeting, talked about that sanitation will provide us with the supplies Does anybody remember who had that connection or who to talk to? I remember when we talked about it, someone said that. Do you remember who said it or
What
if it's you?
was it at our board meeting that our chair for environment told us that?
Maybe. I just couldn't remember. I knew someone said it, but I didn't remember who said it.
Let us check with Debbie and see if, because I'm more sure it was at the board meeting that somebody had mentioned that to us.
Yes. So that would be great if we could get the supplies and things donated to do the cleanup. So if you could follow, so Linda, will you be able to follow up? Oh, Cynthia, are you taking notes? Is she there?
Yeah, so I'm taking notes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
All right. Yes, if you could, Linda, would you be able to follow up with that and then bring it to me or let me know?
Yes, I'll try. I'll send her an email.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that we got the information.
Exactly. That would be great.
Khalib, do you know if, even if that's not, how could we get to DOT to find out, sanitation to find out if that is workable?
Yeah, so we recently had the DSNY chief come to the office, so we built that partnership. So I could reach out to Dante tomorrow, let him know what's going on, and I could connect so with her and
All
see.
right.
You
Good.
know,
I'll drop your email before I speak to Debbie, just in case it's not her.
Okay, but I'll follow with
Right.
Dante just in case it was a conversation that he might know about.
Okay, thank you, Khalib.
The Assembly member is in the waiting room. I'm gonna let her in.
Oh, she's in? Okay. Oh, hi, Farah.
Hello.
How you
Hi,
doing?
so
Again.
Yeah, so we were just going over some of our meeting minutes and stuff until you came in. So I will pause right here and we're just discussing we're planning to do a community cleanup on the 27th. So we were just discussing that. And all right. So now that you're crooked, you're sideways. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'd love to introduce our assemblywoman for our district.
All right, we're good now.
Yep, Sarah Sofran Forrest. And so Farah, I'm gonna let you share who you are, what you do. I know you have a passion for youth. Also, and Farah's also a
Okay, thank you so much, Sol, for
Yes.
having me here.
Yes.
I'm in Albany.
Yes.
So when
You're
you're
in
in
Albany
Albany,
now?
life
Okay.
is very unpredictable and not straight at all.
Okay.
So again, I apologize and I appreciate it.
No problem. So we'll
And
give
Sheila.
you a minute. Go ahead and introduce yourself. And I'd like you to talk about some of your agenda initiatives and things that you are doing for youth. And if there's anything that the CB9 Youth Committee, Education and Youth Committee can do to support you in any of your endeavors, you'll let us know.
Okay, great. My name is Farah Sofran Forrest. I am the Assembly Member for 8057, covering Crown Heights, Clinton Hill, Fort Greene, and a little bit of Bed-Stuy. But I cover the best part of Crown Heights. I don't cover the whole part. The best part. I am, so before the legislature, I was a nurse and a tenant activist. I actually got into this work by organizing and working with tenants across Brooklyn, and also by joining the Housing Justice for All Coalition, which represents tenant advocacy groups across the state. And that's actually how I met my friend Marcella here, who's driving the car today. But most importantly, I know that sounds real high and lofty, but I've been living in Crown Heights all my life. um, born and raised. And so when I say like the community made, community born, that's exactly what I mean. I'm a graduate of CUNY, I'm a graduate of public schools, and I'm a graduate of SUNY as well. So ain't no shame in going to SUNY Geneseo, ain't no shame in going to City Tech. At the end of the day, no one asks you about your credentials. They just want to know if you can do the work. On the flip side of that, if I'm working, that means you gotta respect the hustle. And this is where my work in Albany really comes to play, and the work and the organizing experience that I had in the past comes into play. People think that you have to have a degree in poli-sci or been to Yale or had some kind of mommy and daddy who hooked you up with an internship. No, everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has something to share with the world. That's why your mama and your papa landed you here in this world, because they have something to share and they imbue that story into you. And so you don't need any credentials for that. And so while I support a bunch of reform legislations like Good Cause, which protects tenants and rent stabilized tenants and market rate tenants, I support police criminal justice reform. My first bill was a parole reform bill. I am, as a nurse, I have to stand up for New York Health Act, which is universal health care for all. Kick out the emblems, kick out the, emblem, Metro Plus, just kick them all out, because they're not doing anything but generating profits for people who don't look like us. So yes, on one hand, I do fight for legislation, but when I say you don't need credentials to be here, the bulk of what I learned, how I learned to do the things that I did, was actually while I was in high school. I was part of Global Kids and running conferences, 600 students deep across New York City. I didn't need anything for that. I didn't need anything for that except for somebody taking my hand and really teaching me how and what to do, and then being able to take that and transform that for self-advocacy, right? So if that meant that, like, I had friends that were not able to go to CUNY because even CUNY was unaffordable, I had to fight for the New York Health Act. I'm not the DREAM Act. If it meant, environment that I'm gonna inherit because my past predecessors didn't care about the climate, I have to speak on that. And so I think that having that level of people who took my hand and really took the time to teach me on a real straight level how to talk to people, how to have an elevator pitch, how to build workshops, and be able to teach others as I've been taught, to pass it forward. I think that's why it's very important that I highlight the Brooklyn Roots program that's coming out my office. We had young people and elders sitting there learning about each other, but learning about the work that they are doing in the community. And then that way we build a ecosystem of organizers that are ready to tackle on the local, state, and national level. So I like how people like to talk about youth, but don't include youth. If your stuff is not youth friendly, that means if not, the young brother or the young sister cannot just walk in and feel like there are people that is there to create a culture, like to have a culture of learning and understanding and acceptance, then you're not doing it for the youth. Because if you create it that way, youth would come. And so I saw very clearly during my summer program, youth came in. And so I don't care where they at. They love the environment, good for you. You love to talk about veganism. I'm not with you with that. I like my meat, but you understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's what I'm also part of. I'm a strong supporter for foster care. I think if the state is so big and bad to remove children from their parents because they think that they can do better, then we need to do better. And so when you look at how many youth that were in foster care that end up by the wayside, messed up. That means the state is not investing its dollars properly. So I really care about foster care as well, because I used to work in ACS as a nurse. So anyways, that's my story. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I used to be a foster mom, so I know how that is. It was no joke. But this is an interesting fact that people don't know. Like people need to pay attention to the reality of like sex trafficking and like kids being like a large percentage of kids who disappear are like foster kids and kids in the system, because there's not going to be parents and families fighting to find out where they are, what they're doing. And it's literally over 70,000 kids that go missing from foster care. Nobody knows where they are, and nobody's going to put up a sign to say, hey, this kid is missing. So we have to be, mindful of taking care of that population, because they are easy to fall through the cracks and all the way through the cracks if people don't pay attention. And so I think it would be great. You made me think of something like maybe there's something we could do or hold a workshop or do something with just like targeting that population, because I know that if anybody feels marginalized and unheard, that's definitely a population that falls into that. And I'd like to learn more about your Brooklyn roots. Like if I want to get involved or any of us want to get involved, can you let us know like day, time, send an email to me. I can forward it to everybody about that program, because that sounds like something I'd want to be a part of. So Farah, I have a question though, based on what you were saying. Do you feel like to be in your position, you have to know so much about politics and, like all the workings in order to be comfortable or qualified to do your part? You're on mute.
So when you start this work, and if you're doing it correctly and you're facilitating conversations correctly, experts will present themselves. Because if I can say this, I'm good at organizing, right? I'm good at opening the door. But opening the door to who? The person who's really good at budget analysis, someone who's really good at business and has a business in the community that services elders in the community. If you open up the door, you open up the door to a soul query who has phenomenal interest, invested interest and advocacy in youth. When you build it, when you create that space, it will come. So when I say you don't have to be a political guru to be in this space, I truly mean it. I am a nurse by trade. And so I'm good at leading conversations when the baby comes into the world, and I'm good at leading conversations when your brother and sister or your daddy or your pappy, your mommy or your pappy is leaving out the door. I participate in all sorts of conversations. You just need to find out what you can do and then seek out others. I really find this truly a problem for particularly young brothers. If you look at the organizing space that we're in, it's dominated by females, Black females, whatever females, but females. There's something within, I think sometimes even when I look at the brothers that are in my life, that they don't understand. You don't have to be an expert. This idea of I'm a man, yeah, we all have roles. Understand, we have roles, but that don't mean that we're not all learners. If you really allow yourself to engage with older men, young men, older women, women who are on the binary, on the spectrum, on the this, on the that, you realize that we're all learning at every stage of our lives. We even have a development theory for that, the development of lifespan, Erickson's theory of development, whatever. But the idea is from birth to death, you never stop growing. So that being said, when you come into this organizing space and you have an open heart and willing to share your skills. Again, we need people who are really technocrats. We need urban planners. We need youth advocates. We need health professionals. We need everybody in this space. Once you are open to sharing and being part of it, you're in. That's it. You're in. Of course, you're going to have naysayers, old people that want to tell you sit you down and wait your turn. We always got these people. But the true space that the people like me that's looking for you, I'm going to find you. Trust me, I'm going to find you and you're going to be accepted. Just come in and be ready to serve as well.
Hey, does anybody else have any questions for her? I mean, I got a bunch. So Farah, do you have any upcoming youth initiatives or events or anything coming in the near future? Oh, you're on mute.
So at this time, I'm in budget season. I have not planned out my summers yet. I know that I host SYEP. I host summer interns. So if you want to volunteers with the office over the summer or during your afternoon hours, I have volunteers that are as young as 14 that come in and spend an afternoon. It can be worked in for like credits. You can talk to your teacher, your social studies teacher, or your civics engagement, especially students that are interested in AP classes. We could work in some things for you. But then for people who are job-minded, SYP. So if you have a vendor and you want to place yourself into a site, that's something you could definitely do. And don't take no for an answer, because I did SYP contracts myself. We can sign a contract, whatever, sign something that will have you work in the office and get paid. That's 2. 3, we do have summer picnics just to have fun, sitting down and chilling at Fort Greene Park. We have the Brooklyn Roots program. I will be forwarding that program as soon as we have a set date, but look out for June. And it's a 4-week session. And then finally, again, if you come and you say, Farah, I'd like this, if I don't have it, I will find it for you. You'll be surprised how many people are like me who just know if I give you the opportunity, you'll run with it, okay? So I always say, closed mouths don't get fed, okay? At this age, if you hungry for something, come and get it, baby. The world is your cake and you should eat it.
Yeah. Twyla, I was looking at, do you think that you can get some more of your peers? Because Twyla's our youth, that are actual youth on the committee. Do you think that you can get some of your peers to participate more in the youth committee, as well as maybe joining in on some of the things that are coming up with Farah?
Yes, I'd love to. I'm curious, what do you have planned for the rest of like the school year?
And so now is the budget season. You know what you guys could do? I'm gonna talk to Brian about this. I think we can even do something where my discretionary funding. So every year I get a pocket of money. So I got you. But I get a pocket of money that I get to dole out, right, for the youth. And I'm telling for people in general. And I always like to save a couple for groups that are connected to my constituents. How about we do a little youth adverse? Let's try it out. So we're going to do this experiment. How about we have a youth advisory council where I designate a portion of my discretionary funding to youth-led. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do that. Where we do youth-led, youth-advised, discretionary. I'll put it in you whatever groups. I'll tell you what the criteria is, but then you'll have a pocket of money, and then you tell me, you tell me where you think this would best be spent.
Okay.
So you want to work on me with this?
Yes, I'll
And then
help you with that.
we'll bring it into CB9. Basically, I'm going to designate a portion of my discretionary funding to the group. The youth advisory will
Okay.
tell me where they want this money to go, and we'll try that. That sounds fun. Let's do that.
All right.
That's my next big project after the budget.
Well, I know if I put my 2 cents in, I've been wanting to really take kids out to some college tours, outside of New York. I feel like a lot of our New York kids are kind of stuck with what's here, and they don't really know much about life outside of New York and what things have to offer with going away to school, and that it can be a little bit more affordable than some of them assume. And I think it'll be great to expose them to that. I did one tour just to Baltimore, and there were kids who didn't go just because they were scared to leave New York. So,
oh no.
Yeah, so I just feel as though, that's something. And Twala, you tell me what you think, but I think it would be good to maybe do it with a wide range of ages, like maybe some middle to high school, and really help to expose our kids a little bit more about what's outside of New York, not just what's here. That's just a thought. Linda, you have your hands up?
So let me tell you something. The chancellor of SUNY is our constituent. He lives in my district.
Okay.
So maybe I could hit him up. But definitely, if you want to come to some of the schools up here, if you know some schools that you want to do within the SUNY system, or there's a lot. There's a lot. We can arrange that. Let's talk about it.
Okay. All right. When Linda,
Miss Linda?
Hi. Actually, Farah, you touched really on what I was going to talk about. The discretionary fund. I know a lot about it. I used to be on the city's discretionary fund until we got thrown out a few years ago. So that's a good idea. I support you, and I think that really will be fun. My other question is that where does volunteers stand in with you? Like maybe older people who just want to volunteer sometime, not as an intern, no cost, stuff like that. How do we get to do stuff like that?
So
I know, be mentors and stuff, but you just tell me what your system.
So I have a wonderful Justin Freeman, Director of Community Affairs in my office. We have built out a robust, when I say robust voluntary system to not only train people on how to do constituent affairs stuff, but also, let me backtrack a little bit. Again, like I said, Brooklyn Roots, that's what I do formally, right? Another formal thing I do is that I get people in, I capture them. If you come to my office and you say, Farah, I have an unemployment issue, and then we'll talk about your unemployment issue. We'll give you all the tools to fix it. It's not I do it for you. We do it together, right? Then by the time you finished working with me, you are now an unemployment guru. Now, we're not waiting for you to sit there and be like, I'm going to keep my guru-ness to myself. Then I turn you into a missionary. Now you got to go and spread forth the word. You're going to go out and either come and canvas with me on a labor issue like I did at Atlantic Terminal. You can then, if you don't like to knock on people's door, no problem. You can come over to the office and pick up the phone and call somebody. Cool. I have a couple of people that just work on emails. I swear you see how my beautiful newsletters, you're like, wow, volunteers do that. You could do that. The other thing that you could do is that you can then go out and take on individual cases. So If you see my office, we're churning out 500 cases a year. That's not Justin that's doing that by himself. It's impossible. It is neighbors working with neighbors. So again, I love your question, Miss Linda, and it's really up to you. When you step into the door, you say, Farah, I love the phone. We got you. But then how you like the phone? Do you want to sit in your house? Are you mobile? Are you can't come out that? Whatever it is, we got a spot for you. Okay? And that's for young people, everybody.
All right.
Like I said, I got people on the phones that's 14 years old.
Nice.
So
Anybody else have any questions?
and mind you, that's not even campaign. Let me understand. Let me be very clear. This is not campaign. This is office work. I like how people like, oh, Farah's. No, it's not a campaign ritual. Believe it or not, I don't even recruit for the campaign. Because by the time you this, trust me, you'll be ready to not just talk about Farah, but talk about the way we do things in 8057. Okay? You'll be excited. You'll be like, why isn't this happening? And then that don't say my name though. Don't say Farah sent you, okay? Keep my name out of it. I'm just converting people, okay? All right.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? Well, Farah, we're definitely gonna want to invite you to our end of the year event. With CB9 always has the resource fair and all of those things. We're still in the development phases of that. We're planning to do a neighborhood cleanup, and of course your district area. We're planning to do that April 27th, and also doing like a youth fair or forum and fair in conjunction with Jackie Robinson School. We're just waiting on the date, and yeah, so we're doing a couple of things, this year. Twyla's going to be helping to do some mentorship with the kids at the school there too, with high school and then younger kids. And so it's really great that, you were able to take your time to come and talk to us and let us know, what is really like to do this community work, and, how we can be a support. And if you have things coming up, just send it to me, and I will make sure that I forward it to the whole team. And if I have to make a flyer so that it gets on the e-blast, I'll also do that too.
That's amazing. And whatever you got for me, I blast it out. And wherever, people to pick up water, people to get ice for you, whatever it is,
Okay, wonderful. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Farah. We
Thank you,
appreciate
everyone. I
you.
appreciate you. Thank you for inviting me tonight. And I appreciate your patience.
Oh, no worries.
It's a little rough up here.
All right. Have a
Enjoy
great
to have you.
night.
Have a night. Bye.
Bye. All right. Thanks, everybody. So we have, let me go back to sharing screen real quick. But you guys, I always love Farah because she feels so like down to earth and personable, not like I guess you would
Very
say
genuine.
competition, very genuine, exactly. So her energy is always like that, and she's very approachable. I literally just asked her if she would come, and she was like, yes. So that's what I really like about her. We won't have a long meeting tonight. So I did speak about to the director in charge of and who'll be helping with the youth forum. They're still working out the date. She's new, so she still has a couple of things on her agenda, but I know that it will be early June sometime, and I'll let you guys know exactly when that is. We still in flux in terms of the community garden. We're waiting to hear some information around that. And I know once we know for sure, we could look into getting the donated seeds and things like that. Twyla and I spoke, and we're definitely going to move forward with doing the mentoring program. I'm just waiting for follow up on any logistics and things like that, but she's definitely going to start it. And I feel like even though it could be something that's small this year, by next year we may have a bigger group, and then the year after that and the year after that, it's something that can grow, and hopefully high school students can get into it and see that they have so much to offer our younger kids. The other thing that I did do is I did turn in the grant for Citizens New York, and I did it for the end of the year full resource fair that we have, because I feel like it looks like when I looked at the website before, they used to have 3 cycles, but when I looked at it this year, it looked like I didn't see 3. I just saw this one, unless, they're going to do something later. So I wanted to make sure that since this is a huge event that we do every year, we would do that, because part of my thought was to try to maybe do something with the skating, the this and the that. But if we only have one thing to apply for, we know that, we always do the end of the year resource fair combined with all of the committees involved, and we make it a big event. And perhaps if there's some way we can incorporate some of the skating and stuff like that with that, it might be, able to be done. So I just basically put everything into one event. So I did turn that in. And we talked about, like, possibly, I know Melody talked about doing a skating pop-up or something. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Melody?
Well, when we first talked about skating, it was in conjunction with applying for the grant to have like a separate event, but I am totally on board with it being the ends of the year thing. If there's going to be more people there, maybe we can have more kids involved, so that would be really cool.
Yeah, so I figured it would be just easier to write it in that way. Okay.
I'm totally on board with that.
Okay. So does any other thoughts or suggestions? I guess the main thing, Linda, then is for us next month, because one of our first actual go out and do something event will be the cleanup. So we can find out about getting the equipment, the things that we need for that day. If we could get gloves, if we can get bags, if we could get all of that stuff, and we don't have to think about spending money to do a cleanup. I think that would be it. And then I think at that point, next month, we should establish at the next meeting the radius, like where are we all going, who's committing to coming, and then if we could create some small groups out of that and really, canvas a certain area for cleanup. You're on
And
mute.
what about, that's fine. That's good. We can work on that.
Mhm.
I would. The Jackie Robinson project that we had tried to do that we had sort of transferred to this month. I know you said we were waiting on them. Could you think anything what happened so that we could, the board has,
I don't think anything is, I don't think it's not gonna happen. I think that because they have a new director, it's like they didn't have the concrete information yet. They probably would have already had that had it been like the old director and they've been planning
yes,
for a while.
okay,
So,
yeah.
she's got a lot to kind of clean up on her plate, but she already knows it's on her radar and her agenda to have the event. They're always going to have it. So it's just a matter of us finding out. Maybe by next month or so, we'll find out, what the actual date is. So then we can think about what our part can be in it, because I needed to know what are all the different things they do. I haven't gone before, so I don't know what I know, but they said that they have a turnout of like 500 people. So it's a big thing. So
Okay.
we just need to figure out what it is and then what area we want to volunteer and do that day. And I don't know, does CB9 have t-shirts?
Khalid, do we?
I believe so.
I believe so too. That's why I want you to.
Yeah, I believe so. I could check in with Dante, see if we can have like a rollout or something like that for
Mhm.
event.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
even like, when you do the cleanup, just so
Yep.
people can know,
Exactly.
visibility
That's
is
Just let me clean up the youth forum, because at our last meeting, the whole board voted for us to have this. So I just want that when we get next week on also the executive and the community board, that we have something to say about it.
Okay.
You know,
Yes.
and what you just shared is reasonable. There's a new director, and so we just would work with her accordingly.
Yes, definitely. So, I'm hoping by at least next month she'll have the date and all of that stuff together. But I
Okay.
definitely do think that, by the time Khalid, if you could find out to make sure we can have some shirts for when we do the cleanup, I think it would be good. So, like you said, the community can see that we're coming around and we're doing our part to help our community clean, keep our community clean.
Yes, I'll follow with you this week.
Thank
Okay,
you.
wonderful. All right. So for me, that's all I got. Does anybody else have any thoughts or anything else? If not, I will move for the meeting to be adjourned. Need someone to second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Alethea. Thank you, Linda. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. I'll see you next month.
And thank you.
Good night,